So the NBA is losing ratings. Why is that? Is it because of Stream East? You know, those illegal streams? Is it because the referees call text for everything? Is it because the players are lazy and don't want to play back-to-backs? What is the reason why the NBA is losing ratings? I'm going to give you my opinion. If you agree with it, say in the comments you do. If you don't, tell me why, but this is just my point of view from it all. So me, I've been an NBA fan for a good amount of time. I'd say maybe like 13, 14 years. And with that, the NBA has always been very entertaining. The regular season in recent years, many people have said is irrelevant. But back in the past, the regular season was actually really fun and really engaging. So I'm just curious, like, okay, what is happening to make NBA regular season games just not matter? Earlier, like maybe 5-6 years ago, this was a thing that they were saying. They were saying, you know, the super teams like the Golden State Warriors, you know, they're going to win a championship, so it doesn't really matter. In all honesty, though, it did matter because it was still really entertaining because the other stars stepped up and made storylines happen. For instance, in the 2016-17 season, the Warriors were, you know, dominant, had Kevin Durant and all, but James Harden and Russell Westbrook had the little triple-double battle, which was very fun and entertaining to see. For me, I'm analyzing, I'm wondering where is the problem, what's happening? And I think I found 2 reasons why the NBA is losing ratings. Now, the other reasons, they can also factor in, but these to me are the 2 reasons why. Number 1, there is no new main character. LeBron James and Steph Curry were the 2 main characters of the 2010s era. It was their era, they dominated it, and a lot of ratings came in. Like, if you look at the finals, even though it was always the same teams, I'm pretty sure those finals ratings were pretty good. But it's like in the recent years, and with LeBron's teams falling off and Steph Curry's teams falling off, who is the next guy? When LeBron and Steph Curry retire, who is going to take the mantle as the main character? Because it has to happen. Would it have been Giannis? People thought it was Giannis. People think it's Anthony Edwards. People may think it's Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, but no one has really stepped up. When Michael Jordan retired, you know, the ultimate main character, you had Kobe Bryant already in the league and LeBron James is about to get drafted. But now LeBron is, you know, 2 more years probably left in his career, and we don't know who is the next guy. Who's going to be the guy that takes the NBA, and when a casual fan thinks of basketball, they think this player. When someone who never watches basketball, they think of the NBA, they'll think of LeBron James, or they may think of Steph Curry. When LeBron and Steph's gone, bro, the league gonna suffer. And the thing about it is not just about being a good player, because we have a lot of really good players in the NBA. It's more about who is going to be the best player. Who is the definitive best player? With the main characters, those guys are definitively the best. Who's not only going to be the definitive best player, but be the guy who's marketable, be the guy winning championships and being productive. You know, when Stephen A. Smith said Kawhi Leonard is one of the worst, if not the worst superstar, it's not because his production, is more because he's not a marketable person. Nikola Jokic is not a very marketable person. He is a 3-time MVP, and if this was like Anthony Edwards or something, I think, hey, he'd be the main character. But Nikola Jokic is just not a marketable person. No one really cares about him unless you're a Nuggets fan or just a pure basketball hoopist. So when you go to the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have a main character. They have Patrick Mahomes. He's the main character of the NFL definitively, and that helps the product. I don't know if the NFL ratings are dropping or increasing, but they have their main character. And when you think of the NFL, you think of the Chiefs, you think of Patrick Mahomes, and you think of the Cowboys because, you know, people love to hate the Cowboys. But when you think of the NBA, I mean, obviously you think of LeBron and Curry, but after that, be honest, he's been injury prone last couple years. He hasn't won a championship in a while. Anthony Edwards hasn't shown, like, he hasn't won a championship either, and he hasn't won an MVP. Jason Tatum, he won the championship, but he wasn't even finals MVPs. And, you know, so we don't know who's going to take the mantle. And with that ambiguity, figuring out who's going to be next and being the main character, is it Wemby, is it Luka, is it Jokic, is it Giannis, whoever it is, that's going to hurt the ratings because we don't know we don't know who's going to be the guy. Number 2 reason, lack of storylines and villains. There are no real villains, I feel like, in the NBA. Now, the Boston Celtics won the championship and people can just say they're going to be the villain. But the Boston Celtics, I mean, their road to winning a championship wasn't villain-esque. Drafted their players, some good smart trades, good free agency, good role players came in. And eventually, after a loss a couple years ago, they won last year and they just put it all together. It wasn't really like a villain route. Unless you already hate the Celtics or they beat you in the playoffs last year, there's no reason really to hate the Celtics. But man, the Miami Heat with LeBron and Kevin Durant and Golden State, oh my goodness, those teams, we hated those teams. I'm a Rockets fan, and you can see why I hated the Warriors. But when it came to the Heat, I hated the Heat too. The story of being like the hate story was so perfect. So you need to have like a WWE feel. There has to be a villain, a true person everyone can root their energy of hate towards. That helps market the game more. That makes it seem like we got to knock this guy out. We got to knock Darth Vader and the Empire. We have to knock them out. You know what I'm saying? It just adds a little more oomph. When the Rockets had to face that Warriors team, bro, that gave me Houston, the team, just life. That gave we have to knock this team out. And there was a storyline to the season. Who can beat this team? If you ever look at the marketing when a villain team is going to your house, like the Heat were traveling to, I think, the Hornets. And, they would say, oh, Miami Heat coming to town in a couple of weeks. See if we can beat, they were marketing LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and all of them more than they were marketing the Hornets. And obvious reason is because not only do they have better players, right? But also because, hey, maybe the Hornets, maybe we could beat the evil Heat. Maybe we could beat this evil team. Same thing with the Warriors. Maybe we could beat the Warriors. It just brings something to the season. And when that team is beaten, it makes the whole league better. We're all happy. They blew up the Death Star. It's so exciting. They don't have that. They don't have any real storylines this season. It's not think of the 2016-17 season. Obviously, KD went to the Warriors, but Russell Westbrook by himself, Kenny averaged a triple-double. James Harden's the point guard. There was storylines to it. Big things happen that make it okay, this can happen. Maybe this can happen. Maybe this can happen. No, there was more rivalries back in the day. Nowadays, there's rivalries, but they don't feel they're not heated enough. There's not enough hate. I need real hate, pushing and shoving and maybe a fight breakout. We need to see intensity. There's no real intensity in these NBA regular season games anymore because there's no rivalries. There's no storylines. There's nothing, no story being created. And with no main character and with no story, then you're going to get nothing. You're going to get a boring regular season. All these games are just regular games. You get to the postseason and we see who wins. But there's no there's nothing to prop up. It's all a marketing game. I mean, it just don't hit the same. If you look at the finals from the Nuggets and Heat and the Celtics Mavericks. Those finals are awful. And the Nuggets Heat, if you look at them games, they look like a Tuesday game in March. They don't look like they're the NBA Finals. It don't have that. Back in the day, wasn't that big NBA Finals logo in the middle of the arena? It just there's okay, this is it. This is the finals. This is where NBA history is made. This is where people can grow up the ranks and be one of the greats of all time. You get more of that feel back then. But nowadays, you don't get that feel at all. The Nuggets beat the Heat. The Celtics beat the Mavs. It just was okay, cool. We're done with that now. It don't hit no more. Look, go to Heat versus Spurs in 2013. That finals had aura. These finals don't have aura. It's a marketing issue. You can say a lot. There's a lot of things. Maybe the prices are too expensive. Maybe because of Stream East, people, legally streaming, maybe because of referees and all that. But at the end of the day, I think it's marketing. There's nothing to watch, really. Who cares? No stories have been built. There's no new main character coming. And there's no villain. Why would you watch that story? If these things don't happen, why would you read the book or watch the movie that are missing these three elements? That's my opinion. If you agree with my opinion, comment down below. If you don't agree with my opinion, tell me why and comment down below. But for more NBA content like this, make sure to like this video. It was fun to just give my opinion, and I have a lot of opinions. So if you want to hear my opinions, show this video some love, and I got you. And hey, from there, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'm out of here. Peace.